Come on, step it up!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Naturally Uncanny Reviews Network's Come On, Step It Up. I'm your host, Bradley Polk, and we also have Steve Liska, the co-creator of Naturally Uncanny Reviews. Malcolm
Co-creator?
Gruber,
I'm the founder, yo!
Whatever. Malcolm Gruber, a.k.a. Squeak, and our special guest of the night, Elly. Come on and take it away, Steve. That's your cue.
He's slow. Hold on.
It was a great opening, and now it's ruined because Steve was not ready.
God damn it, Jerry.
He's ready. He's just slow. Give him a minute. He'll be like, "Oh, hi everyone," and he'll start. Don't worry.
Why would you put scissors in your nose?
What?
What?
It's just like on the Central. There's this commercial for like this trimmer, but they were showing like all the stupid stuff like you try doing like trim your nose hair. So this guy had like this giant pair of scissors and was shoving it like in his nose. Like, that's not gonna work.
Oh, Steve, never change.
There goes our serious, tone, because Steve put scissors in his nose.
Yes, he does.
I never said that.
He runs with scissors up his nose, which is more dangerous than anything.
Not only
I don't
you
think
yourself.
I remember me saying that these scissors were in my nose. They were in someone else's nose.
You remember saying that?
Copy them. You would copy them, Steve. You would try to be cool.
Alright, so let's just go on to our first article. This is from, I don't even know the name of this website. All Things D? Does that stand for digital?
I guess, I don't know.
Or is it supposed to be all thing SD?
No, it's All Things D.
It's All Things D.
Fine.
Image is All Things D.
So the article's name is Nintendo's Reggie's Fils-Aimé expects WiiU killer app to be social networking. Alright. And basically, during this interview, Reggie more or less says that like the strongest point that'll probably capture, attract the casual audience is the social networking aspect of it. More or less because the Nintendo Wii U is pushing the Wii, is called the Miiverse? I think it's called the Miiverse. And basically, you'll be able to interact with other people all around the world regarding like games. Like you'll be able to like drop off hints in like New Super Mario Bros. Wii U and stuff. And also they mention how like what's that thing? Nintendo TV with 2 eyes is also going to be a very attractive selling point of the Wii U as well. But my primary concern regarding like this is it's primarily a game console first. I don't think the Wii U is supposed to be like this home entertainment system. It's not trying to be like PlayStation 3 or like, I guess, what the Xbox is more or less now. So, any thoughts on that?
It's still, in my opinion, it's still a gaming console. I mean, sure, the way I think of the TV, it's like Netflix on your system, but a step further. It's the next iteration of having Netflix on your system. The main focus is still gaming, but hey, if you're done gaming, you don't even have to turn off your system. You can go straight to just using it to screw around with your TV and watch TVs and stuff. And while you're watching these things, you still have this whole social networking thing that the Miiverse is throwing into the ring. So, in my opinion, it seems like a good idea to me. I'm looking forward to it, as long as it isn't a really shitty connection and takes 80 minutes to buffer my episodes of Top Gear.
Well, you think they might be a bit too focused on that because like they prevalent thing regarding like the Wii U is like how you actually be able to like control like your TV itself, and not just as game console. But you'll be able to use your DVR. You could like hook it up to your Wii U and you can watch stuff off of that. You think that's like necessary, or like it's worth adding to it, or?
It's not necessary, but it's neat. It's neat. That's my opinion. It's neat. Anyone else got an opinion that's neat?
My opinion is that honestly, it's still going to be a sort of gaming console, but they are going to do a lot of social networking, and I will predict that the Wii U will be like the console with the most pedophiles since that video chat. You're just going to see like, 30-year-old pedophiles calling these like 12-year-old kids going like, hey there, buddy. I have no clothes on. You need help with the Marios?
Don't you like the popsicles? I got popsicles down in the basement for you. Why don't you get on down there and have yourself a popsicle?
Exactly. And lawsuits will ensue. The end.
I do think that the social aspect will be interesting if done well, but if you go overboard, it'll end up, Nintendo really wants to pull back a lot of the hardcore gamers that they've lost over the years because it's become so casual. With the social, they might end up pushing away more of them and losing the audience altogether and never having a chance to reclaim them.
I agree with that. I mean, the Miiverse social networking thing, to me, it seems like a really good idea. Reggie says that it's something that, even though like a lot of their competitors have done social networking, this is kind of a step above it. And if you think about it, some of it is. Like, I mean, you got the Xbox 360 where you can have like friends lists and you can send messages and rate games and all that stuff. But the Miiverse actually like integrates into games. So while you're playing the game, you'll get like notification, you'll get like pop-ups or like hints will pop up depending on how, like on the overworld from Mario games or whatever have you. And it's something that the social aspect like that hasn't really been integrated into games from on consoles so far. Yeah. But on the same time, yeah, it could go wrong very quickly, because if I'm playing like Zombie U and I'm running through the palace beating the shit out of zombies, the last thing I want popping up is Totally D65 says this part was really hard, but I had fun. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about Totally D65. His name's Totally D65.
Well, the thing with Zombie U is that they got a cool, like, they integrated, like, the social interaction with Zombie U actually pretty cool. Basically, other people's, like, characters and stuff will actually show up in your game as zombies. So you're able to kill, like, let's say you had Zombie U and I have Zombie U. I ended up dying at a certain part. You can encounter my zombie, and from there you're able to get, like, a special perk, like a weapon or something like that, if you kill my zombie. So that's cool.
That's cool, but that's really specifically Zombie U's like thing. It's not so much the integration of the Wii U's social networking aspect, and that's really what where this discussion is aimed at, is the Miiverse specifically, and the Miiverse's integration into games.
All right.
That's so much where like the issue lies. Like like as Squeak said, it can be good. It can be really interesting and like unique to the system. But if done wrong, it can be extremely annoying, and people are just going to be like, "Man, fuck this! I don't need this."
It'll be like PlayStation Home all over again.
Oh my god, ASL.
People actually like use that.
Your avatar is hot.
I never even entered PlayStation Home. I never turned it on. I in like a couple times because I accidentally clicked it when I was trying to go to the store, and then it's like, it's like installing latest version. I'm like, no, don't do that. I don't want this. Stop it. I want to go back to the store. It's like, are you sure? There's things inside. I don't know. Shut the fuck up. Go to the store.
I won't lie. I used it once, and what happened basically was I made like a very basic avatar. I went into like the little hub world and I was immediately getting hit on by some dude who was like, your avatar is hot, I'm gonna buy you some games. And I'm like, what? What do you want? And I was like, nothing, please go away.
It reminds me of that Team Fortress 2 video.
Oh, I know the one that you're talking about. Yeah, that was great.
And that's where the social interaction can go all sorts of wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely could be interesting, especially if they give you a small like arena to interact with your friends. Because then you could lead to like small mini games that you play, like they did on the 3DS. Stuff like that.
Alright, so before we leave this topic, you think this solution for like Nintendo's first actual kind of like internet system will work better or worse than the competitors? So you think this will work better as like a social aspect rather than like Xbox Live or PSN?
It's hard to say until we actually see it like fully in action, but based off of what they've said, like is featured with it and all that stuff, I think it would work better. Because with the PSN and the Xbox, I mean, you have friends, you can send your friends messages, like invite them to your games and stuff, but it's really just you have to sort of separate it from the gaming experience. And with the Miiverse, it seems that they're trying to just take that, but keep you still invested in the game, like still in the game mindset while you do it. And I think that's a plus. That could really help.
I definitely think it'll be interesting. I think it's one of these things you got to wait and see. But I think it's definitely more of a first over their competition, because most of the competition is more about like, all right, you have some friends and you can play with them, but other than that, like your social interactions are very limited outside of it.
Honestly, I'd have to see more of the social aspect and the gaming aspect to really judge it. I mean, to be honest, I haven't been like looking too much into the whole WiiU thing lately. But I know that I'm just gonna pick one up anyway because I'm a complete faggot. And I don't know. Like I said earlier, I think like the social community is just gonna be like, oh, I need help with this game. Go fuck yourself, and stuff like that. It's just gonna be 12-year-olds on the message board with horrible typing and grammar.
Anyone want to play Call of Duties?
Guys, I need friends to go play Call of Duty with who wants to join my clan.
I hate 12-year-olds.
God. I'm so glad Arma is not on this system.
Yet.
Dear Lord. I don't think it would be a successful community on that system, because it's all about the mods. Anyways, that's another topic for another time.
So our next topic comes from PC Gamer. DICE threatens permanent bans for users of color editing Battlefield 3 mod. So essentially,
this combo.
Well, essentially, like there was a bunch of modders that decided to like create a mod in order to, like, you know, work with like I guess the environment aspect. So like everything seems a bit more colorful and not as like bland colored. But turns out that DICE is actually banning people who use this particular mod, even though it's all just, you know, visual aesthetics and not actually, you know, like, you know, it's not like really cheating or anything.
Well, I mean, on the one hand, yes, it's really stupid that they're doing this. But on the other hand, it's probably not something they can really control. They probably have some sort of system that looks for any outside modification of the files and just sends out the ban. Even if it's something like the just a graphical tweak, they it's probably just something they can't really control without screwing it up and risking actual modifiers or actual hackers to modify their game and make themselves overpowered. So as I said, on one hand it's stupid, but on the other hand, I mean, think about it, kind of makes sense, just a tiny bit of sense.
Okay, but I just want to make this clear. DICE is aware of, like, this isn't like like an actual not like a gameplay changing mod. They're aware of this like particular color mod, but they said that the company is clearly adamant about protecting the protective standards set in an unmodified game, where filters and gradients could potentially figure into each map's overall balance.
All right, now. See, that was probably a joke of the article, the balance part. But them knowing that it's just graphical tweaks, still, as I said, probably, again, their system is probably based around any kind of outside changes.
Right.
So even if it's just graphical changes, it's still an outside change, and so their system flags it. And without, risking they can't really change it without risking actual hackers and actual modifiers to come in and fuck with their game and make themselves overpowered. So they're kind of taking a safe route with this.
I kind of disagree with you. I think this is like a very smart move, only because I've played a lot of first-person shooters, especially through Valve, and they're very mod friendly. And the thing about you have to understand, they set the colors so it works a certain way. Even if you, let's say, brighten up the colors, it could make people more easier to see. Well, not more easier, wow. Just easier to see. So you have to understand from their point of view also. Like a game like Battlefield 3, Call of Duty, whatever, these games are pretty competitive. So any edge is a bad one because it wouldn't make it fair. I mean, I don't think it'll ever get as bad as Counter-Strike Source. I know there's some mods out there where you can make all the player models bright pink, like literally head to toe bright pink, so it makes them extremely easy to see. I mean, so you have to understand that their concerns are probably more that, if you let this slide, then they'll probably let other things slide. You know what I mean? So I can understand their reasoning for being so strict about it. Yeah, it's a little over the top. I mean, I looked at what the mod really is, and it's just, it makes it look a little brighter, a little bit more vivid. But at the same time, you have to understand, too, that it's important, especially for a first-person shooter that's updated a lot, that it keeps everything the same, just for a competitive standpoint. I understand that. Not all first-person shooters are mod-friendly. So, you really have to see what EA is gonna let slide and all that kind of thing. But I understand where they're coming from. I completely agree with them. I think that it's a good thing that they're putting their foot down, because if that's what they want to do, then it's good to let the whole gaming community know. But I think that's just something Battlefield 3 gamers are gonna have to get used to. Just the simple fact that they're not letting mods really enter the game.
I agree about the whole standing behind no modding. I completely understand that. It just helps say you're not gonna get away with this one small thing that really doesn't affect much. So you're not gonna get away with anything bigger. Probably not gonna get away with anything smaller either. But I also think that if they complain about this as making it brighter is cheating. I mean, it's one thing to make, everyone stand out separately so you can see them. That's a clear advantage. But something where you make the entire game just a little more vibrant for yourself. If you design the game around that dull color being there, it's single player, that's cool because it adds atmosphere. Multiplayer, that's a terrible move because now you're completely dependent on this, and it's really not I don't want to play a game that's totally all worn out and looks like I belong in World War II. I want to play a game that's fucking vibrant when I'm playing competitively.
Right, but you have to understand that's how the developers realize this game. Like they want it a certain way, you know. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. You want a vibrant game, but if that's not the vision of the developer, you know, I think that every game has its own distinct visual style. So I think that, you know, I don't get me wrong. I mean, vibrant's cool, but I kind of like how Battlefield 3 is kind of more. The color's a little bit more washed out. You know, there's smoke in the air, especially if you're playing on the computer. You know, you have like a pretty cool. If your graphics all the way up, it has a pretty nice. I don't know. It just looks nice to me.
Yeah. Well, that's not even the problem. My problem is that when you rely on this as a balance technique, that is a terrible idea. You should find every other way possible to balance your game than relying on something like this, because it'll vary depending on, you know, computer to machine to machine. You know, your displays could have different vibrant settings. You can change it on the video card, and it'll look completely different. And then at that point, you know, you're out because you relied on something like color at this point, and not fully intentionally. Like if you did camouflage, that's one thing because it's a gameplay mechanic. But now this is just visually, oh, I'm relying on this to balance, and that's bad. They should have looked elsewhere first.
Alright. Anyone else have opinions?
Fatty basically said everything that I was going to say because I used to play a lot of first-person shooters. Now I play a lot of like PC first-person, and if the game has a mod and I'm online, granted that someone on the other team is going to be using a mod that turns my skin bright pink and can snipe me from across the map every single time, and I hate it. So I agree with EA here, and well, DICE, it's the same thing.
Okay, next article comes from The Escapist. It's called EA Calls Developer Mentally Ill. Brad, you're the one that sent me this article, and I think you want to discuss this, like, I don't know, summarize this first?
Yeah, it's pretty much what happened was, let's see here, it's quick scan. The creator of Oddworld, of the Oddworld series, would heavily imply that EA was in the talks with them about, I think it's like redoing it or something like that. This claims that tried to buy. Oh, EA had. He claimed that EA was trying to buy the Oddworld team, and so to like make more games or to produce more games or whatever. And then the president of EA or someone from EA, the corporate spokesperson said, "We wish Lauren luck on the game and recommend lithium for the paranoia and Tourette's syndrome." No. So it's really about this article about EA, just like how just EA being just coming out and saying that, just how offensive it is, like to just come out and say this guy, even if they're lying, to just be like, yeah, this guy's got a mental disease, make fun of it, and people being upset about that, and then also a little bit about EA actually, whether or not EA actually plan on buying the company. But that's irrelevant as far as I'm concerned, because this dude, EA, it's just another case of EA being a douchebag.
Yeah, but now they don't even care how they're, like, you know, being seen. I mean, this is like an actual corporate spokesman, Jeff Brown, and he says, "We wish Lore luck on the game and recommend lithium for the paranoia and Tourette's syndrome. No one here remembers a jet or Ferrari or an offer to buy his company." I find that extremely unprofessional. And at this point, EA doesn't even care that people know that they don't even give a shit anymore. They really just want your money now.
Yeah, stupid EA.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. I mean, you know, it's almost, they have like pretty much the top guy in the industry mentality, so they feel like they can just shit on everybody. So, and you know what, unfortunately, as long as they make games that millions of people are gonna buy. It's always gonna be the case. You know, I'm kind of upset, you know, on a personal level that, you know, they're just so unprofessional about dealing with other companies, especially when it makes it to the, like, you know, when the news of that kind of unprofessionalism comes out. I like to see something done about this, but I doubt anything will, only because, you know, this is not like an industry that a lot of people talk about in mainstream news, if you will. But yeah, no, this is sad. I feel bad for the Lithium guys. You know, that's just a low blow. But yeah, I don't know. Again, this is just EA. I'm the top mentality. This, you know, they're being bullies pretty much. They're just bullying Lithium around.
Yeah, this is one of those things where the person who came out and said this should have been fired the next day, because that's just very unprofessional. You shouldn't be slamming someone like that directly, saying, "Oh, well, now he's mentally ill because he made this recollection." Just be like, "No, I don't remember this ever happening, but we still wish, you know, this guy the best of luck on his game." But I don't think we'll ever see anything done about this.
Of course not. They're EA. Like everyone has basically said, they can get away with it because they think they're the big man. They have all the big bucks. Because Call of Duty will always keep on selling. So will Battlefield.
That's Activision.
Well, that's Activision. God damn it.
They got Madden.
Well, that is true. Yeah, they have Madden. They have other sports. They have. You know what? I don't even fucking care. EA are dicks. I don't even like most of their games. I don't even follow EA anymore.
EA has become really cocky lately because they're like, "Oh, we're gonna sell our company."
You know what?
Don't care.
You know what? EA should take Call of Duty. They should just merge together with Activision and become the biggest pile of shit the world has ever seen. There we go.
Elly, like we discussed last week, the week before last week, EA's actually being sold to like private firms and stuff, so there is a possibility that Activision could buy up EA.
What? Oh, so I was maybe technically right. Oh my god! I need a moment. I need a moment to cry on the inside. Why? Okay, done.
I'm just saying it's a possibility. We don't know.
I know it's a possibility, but I'm just saying right now, as soon as they catch a whiff of EA, they're gonna be like, mine, Call of Duty and Battlefield? All we need is Halo and we got everything.
Yeah, but then you're asking Microsoft to give up something, and Microsoft's like, "Fuck you! We have more money than you do."
So you don't understand, with all of the money that EA and Activision will sell in the following years, with more Battlefields and more Call of Duties and everything, and more Maddens every year, it will always sell. It will always sell.
But the problem is they heavily rely on Microsoft. Without Microsoft, their sales drop dramatically.
That is true, but maybe, just maybe, they'll sell so much that they'll just buy the Halo series from Microsoft.
I think it might be a smart move for Microsoft to like buy EA. So in order to play Madden, you have to get a Microsoft console. So
then everyone would fucking buy it. They would always buy Xboxes and they would always buy Madden. So that would work for them.
There you go. Sony and Nintendo's are finished.
Yeah, exactly. No. Microsoft has to acquire both EA and Activision. Then
you just control the whole market right there.
Exactly. You control all of the market.
With the small exception of Steam.
Because Steam is the best. Valve will always be free.
Don't jinx it.
You say that now.
Please don't jinx it.
It's a billionaire. No. Gaben will reign supreme.
I really hope that Microsoft doesn't buy EA, only because I want to see the Wii U. Like, you know how they have the pad with the stylus and everything?
Yeah.
I want to see Madden where you can make plays on your Wii U like pad right on the fly. That would be sick for any sports game. Like, imagine basketball or whatever. That'd be the craziest thing ever.
Well, it's definitely most applicable in football since, you know, like before like every actual play day you have to like set it up and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how that worked like basketball or like NHL or something like that, but but it could work for like, I don't know, I guess baseball, like tournament pitches and stuff. But I don't know. Could be cool. But that's only depending on if Microsoft doesn't buy EA. Just putting this back out there. This is only possibilities. Not saying that they are, but it could happen. Anything else, or should we just move on to our last topic?
Moving on.
Moving on. Final topic, also from PC Gamer. Leagues of Legends designers on Wise. Do people call it LOL or LOL or what?
It's LOL.
Well,
LOL.
LOL.
All champions aren't free. So essentially, what is it? Lead champion designer Ryan Scott more or less explains why they do a certain format and selling champions, which Heroes of New and Dota don't do. They basically say that if they make all champions free, essentially it will throw off the balance of the game. Yeah, I don't really know too much about MOBAs.
What's
MOBAs.
MOBAs.
What's a MOBA?
That's not my territory. So,
But wait. How does making something free unbalance the game? What, too many people would be playing it? Like, I don't understand.
No, okay. When it comes to MOBAs, if you have free champions, that means that if you pick a hero, let's say that has invisibility, you can counterpick with a hero that has a move that has tracking that removes their invisibility, aka counterpicking. And apparently that's too unbalanced for LoL.
Yeah, it's pretty much what he's saying. He's saying that it's because of the way they constantly balance the game and constantly update with stuff, that having players having to buy champions or earn champions, however you want to think of it, they can't just no one can just unless you own every single champion, and that requires a shit ton of game time or a shit ton of money. You can't just hard pick anyone in the competitive play. You have to just pick who you think is going to be, best suited for the role you're playing, and just adapt to what the enemy team has. There's no and that's apparently a lot more balanced than counter picking. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know much about the game, but I mean, that's really just the developer's call. And if people don't like it, they don't have to play the game. That's really all it is.
Yeah, I agree on that point. I think it's cool because it allows you to have a larger variety of characters without the game feeling weird in balance. Because now you're cycling through a bunch of different characters who can be completely different, and the balance not shift much at all. Because now you're cycling out the characters that would, just freaking get rid of the other character, no problem.
Also, they go on to quote, I'm pretty sure it's the same guy, them talking about a series of weeks in League of Legends where they released one champion after another. There was only like a 1 week, it wasn't even a break, it was 1 week, then the next week, then the next week. And they refer to it as Doom-pocalypse because apparently players did not like that, not because the characters were bad, but because they were, quote-unquote, fatigued. The people were fatigued on a certain player type. So pretty much their excuse is that players got, tired. They got I guess tired of the enemy, of just having that much, like that close of a selection of different heroes to play, which I think is a little silly. I mean, players aren't going to get fatigued; their wallets are, because you're forcing people to pay to get these heroes, and of course the hardcore, quote unquote hardcore, fans of the game are like, oh, it's a new hero, I gotta spend $20 to buy it right now, and all the skins, and rada, otherwise I won't be competitive. And that's really where the problem lies. Not that the people are getting tired over character types, they're getting tired over the fact that they have to pay $10 a fucking character every week for this shit. If they had just gotten it free, no one would complain.
Right, but you have to understand too, I mean, that's their model, You can even say that any MMO or any game that uses microtransactions is in a similar place. Or you can say that even Battlefield or Call of Duty now with their like elite statuses where you pay another fucking $40-$60 for what, an extra gun or two. I mean, this is what video games have become, is just microtransactions, and hardcore gamers that have mommy's credit card can go buy a lot of shit. That's what it's all about.
Well, it's not so much an issue with their model, or it is an issue with their model, but the issue is more of the fact that they're saying that their excuse for it is the wrong kind of excuse. Like, they can have this model if they want. They can make microtransactions, and they can like make a payment off microtransactions, but they can do it off the cosmetic stuff, off skins, off rune pages, stuff like whatever it is. But having the actual champions, all of them free and all of them like available for all players, in my opinion, makes a much more balanced game, because it wouldn't wear out players like they say it will, because the players won't get worn out over champions. They're getting worn out over having to pay $40 a month for 4 champions that they may never play again.
See, I think they're getting overwhelmed by the amount of characters there are. That's a problem, is people don't like mass quantities. They like a small niche to pick from because it's easier. They don't have to like try and, focus their small brains, and not everyone out there has a small brain. But their brains on, making many choices. They only have to make a few choices, and it's very niche, and they can pick characters that they like to play, and they don't have to worry about like, oh, maybe this character is good, or maybe this character is good, maybe I'll like this character, and that'll frustrate players.
Speaking of, there's this last quote here that I find hilarious. Same guy says, "We don't like rules, we like guidelines. Rules are things that will prevent you from doing things, while guidelines are what's a League of Legends character. What's its style? What do players respond to? Those are guidelines, and sometimes we break those rules as we learn more." I find that hilarious, because I know a number of occasions where people have gotten banned because they played a character different than what is the current meta. I have seen images of in an actual game with an admin, and a player decides to play a character how they want to, that's out of the norm for that character for the meta, and the admin banned that player.
Well, that's power abuse, and that is not like, I wouldn't say that's so much on LoL, because LoL doesn't use, like, their admins don't work directly through Riot. They're all like from community.
It had to have been a dev or something, because his like name was Pendragon or something like that. But
Pendragon.
He had the power to ban this person in mid-character phase. The dude was banned in mid-character.
Yeah,
he wanted to play a character that is not the guideline.
Yep, Pendragon. He's very infamous. He's a fucking asshole. I've got a friend who knows him, and yeah, he's a fucking dick. On LoL.
What does he even do anyway? Because I've heard stories of that as well. I've also heard a story where someone goes into a ranked match, correct? And no one has picked yet, and the guy goes, "I'm going to random." Pendragon is on his team, and he randoms, and he's like, "You're randoming in a ranked band." And it's like, wait, what? It's like, I don't know who to play right now, and I want to play whoever I have. So let's just roll with it. There's a random button in the game that you can press. It's a function, and he got banned for using that function.
Yeah, that's an like abuse of power. Pendragon definitely should have been removed from any power he's ever had a long time ago when he started doing this dumb stuff, because it removes from the fun of playing the game. And you lose people that way. You lose customers. He is literally costing Riot money.
Honestly, I feel it all ties into how Riot treats their game and treats their admins and their players, and it's ridiculous. They say things that are stupid and don't make sense if you actually think about it, and it's ridiculous. And yet people still, they still glam onto the game. The game's not bad.
No.
And if we give Elly a moment here, she'll rant about it for 80 minutes about why Dota's better. But
yes, I know. The thing is, I prefer Dota over League of Legends, but that doesn't make League of Legends a bad game. It's just different.
Yeah, exactly. It's different. It's not... Dota isn't for everyone. And typically, if Dota's not for you, League of Legends usually is. But it's still a good game. It's just a shame how Riot treats it, acts with it, and says things that are just retarded. But that's my word. That's all my opinion.
I mean, most of the reason why I'm turned off from League of Legends is because of the fact that I don't have my wide selection of heroes. Let's say I want to play Teemo right off the bat, which I kind of do. I want to see how he plays because I like the dig-ass characters like that. And in order to get him, I need 1,350 IP, or I have to buy him for whatever price, but I don't have either yet. He's not on free, so I'm stuck playing heroes that are pretty shitty.
Pretty sure he's on free.
Well, he's on free right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I was saying at the time.
Yeah.
Because it changes out every week. But still, I like having a wide selection of heroes, and there's modes in Dota, at least, that's called Captain's Mode. And what happens is one team bans, other team bans, one team bans, other team bans, and then you pick your first 3 heroes. It goes Dire, which is the evil, Radiant, Radiant, Dire, Dire, Radiant, and then it goes into ban mode for 2 more characters, and then it does the last 2 picks for each team.
Oh, sounds like Han.
So it's it's probably exactly like Han's. So I'm not sure why they can't put that function into League of Legends and still have all of the characters, kind of out there and free. Because if they put that mode in, then you can essentially, remove counter picks that way.
Yeah, but that also comes down to the issue of money.
Exactly, but they're greedy and they want money, so it's not going to change the end.
Who isn't greedy and doesn't want money? I want money. I'm greedy.
I want money, but I'm not gonna do it at the cost of my game.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, if you did, you'd be working for EA. Oh wait.
I should work for EA.
You'd be swimming in money. You would fill up a pool. If you don't have a pool, you'd fucking commission for a pool, a giant pool, and just have money in it.
That doesn't sound sanitary. No one knows where that money's been.
And you get paper cuts everywhere.
It's all over my body.
I mean, ugh.
Who cares? You're fucking rich.
Yeah, but what good is being rich when you're dead?
Dead from paper cuts? That's completely stupid.
I have an allergy.
Now you have AIDS.
AIDS from the paper cuts?
Yeah, from the money. Blood money.
People may have...
Oh, no.
Or maybe it was money from rich people who had AIDS and had sex all over their money.
Why are we talking about this?
Because apparently Riot Games and AIDS have something very in common. If you think about it.
You have AIDS?
You have it. Yes, you have it. Not HIV.
Everyone has AIDS. Do. AIDS.
I think we're going on an odd tangent here. Anyway, so any other thoughts on Riot and their stupidity?
No. Right sucks the dick.
I don't play MOBAs, so I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. There we go. That's the correct answer, Steve.
Humbus.
I'm right! Woo!
He's actually right for once.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
Oh god.
Alright.
So let's...
Type.
Yeah, no, I have a keyboard that makes a lot of taka noises.
Taka, 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 taka.
Mechanical keyboards, my favorite.
Feels so good.
I think it's time for you to wrap it up, Steve.
Not it.
Not it.
Yeah, not it.
I'm just not gonna do it. I don't care if I'm last.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't even give shit either. It's like I'm just a guest.
Alright, fine. Jesus, you guys are lazy. Do it. Anyways, so that brings us to the end of this week's Come On Step It Up. Thank you to Elly for being our special guest this week and giving us insight on whatever articles you gave us your insight on.
Hey, Elly, do you want to plug your stream site?
Oh yes. Okay. Check out Vinesauce.com. I do video game streams on there, and we have like 13, 14 streamers now. And it's 24/7 stream, and we just stream any video game, anything that you can think of.
Cool.
Alright.
I'm gonna plug my friends thing really quick.
And that's what we have time for today.
Shut up, Brad.
Brad, you're a dick.
So if you love free indie games, follow Indie Raffles on Twitter. Every Sunday, well, almost every Sunday, he does free raffles and gives away indie games, and it's usually different indie games every week, and it's really awesome. It's at Indie Raffle on Twitter. Go follow him.
Gotta even edit Twitter. Shit. Any more plugs? Are we done plugging?
I think we're done plugging.
No, I need to plug our own site.
Really?
Well, might as well. I mean, alright, you know what? I'm going to do a video for that anyway, so never mind.
Alright, fine. So now that we're done plugging, that brings us to the end.
I can't hear you. The talk is too loud.
Alex!
To Elly for being our special guest this week and giving us insight, or her insight on the articles we talked about. Join us next time for whatever articles we talked about. This is Bradley Folk of the Exactly the Same Reviews Network.
I can't even hear you.
And we're done.
Asshole.
Alright. So, this is Naturally
You're
Uncanny
breaking.
Reviews.
You're
Signing off.
I already did the sign off. I'm out.
Too bad, I just did.